Welcome back to my reaction series. This is a place where I react to videos from all over the internet that's going to make you question reality. Let's just start.
Don't go to sleep. He's like, drink that, you ain't gonna go to sleep. He said, he coming, bro. He said, he coming. He said, make your bed up like you in it. He said, that blue jacket that they gave you, put pillows in it. That red hat that they gave you, put pillows in it. And make it look like you sleeping. He's like, he coming. He gonna try to stab you.
What? Stab you?
He's like,
Prison.
but how your cell, I'm talking about this nigga knew the cell, bro. He knew how the cells were set up and everything. He's like, how your cell set up, when it get dark, it's gonna get dark at a certain spot. Just stay in the corner. As soon as they pop, cause they pop everybody door at 4, it don't matter if you up or not. As soon as he slide in there, you better fight for your life.
Damn.
So,
Crazy.
drank the coffee, made the bed up like I was in it, had it like curled to the top like I was like on my side. And I see this nigga. Like I'm in the corner, but I can see Buddy's face. He had his coat up with the collar part over, so you really can't see like his face for real on the camera. The camera's shitty. I don't really give a fuck. So when he slid in, he slid sideways. Damn. I brought him in. What? He slid sideways and had the knife on. But when he slid and I brought him in, this nigga like 120. And I threw him to where all the commissary was in the drawers. He dropped the knife. I thought I killed him.
What?
Cause I ain't get off of him. Black suits came, got me and shit. And like when I had got out, cause he was a blood, so he wasn't even, like, he was offset though. Like he ain't on no more cause you know what I'm saying, the gay shit. So they weren't on that. Mm-hmm. So after that shit happened, and I got out the hole, everybody's like, I had $100 sack, $100 sack, $100. Cause nobody can do nothing to him. Cause he's still, you know what I'm saying, it's politics. He's still like, you know what I'm saying, it couldn't be blood on blood. Mm-hmm. And he can fight. So niggas really really want nobody can do nothing with him. But probably seen me as like, I'm not fighting him, I'm stab that nigga. I wasn't going. And ever since then, I was just on my toes and everything.
Millions and millions of dollars are continually sent into outer space while we continue to face the same problems here on the ground. Poem said, a rat done bit my sister Nell.
The fact that the manuscript is written in a way that nobody else could read it.
Talk about some pretty dark stuff. What's the stuff that they couldn't print?
Because of new technologies, new techniques.
Elon Musk just said the Voynich manuscript was never meant to be read because it might not be for humans at all. This strange book has been locked away at Yale for years, and it's unlike anything you've ever seen. What if Musk is right, and the book was made to stay unread forever? Come closer, because what's inside this book might not be for us at all. The book that refuses to be understood. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear this. The book has been sitting in Yale's rare books section since the late 1960s. But it wasn't discovered there. A Polish book dealer found it in 1912, thinking he scored something religious or boring. Nope. What he found was straight out of a sci-fi novel. Drawings of made-up plants, naked ladies chilling in green tubs, and star maps that seem like they came from an alien telescope. Before we dive deeper, understand this. The truth behind the Voynich manuscript is far stranger than anyone expected, and what you're about to learn might change how you see everything. Nobody has cracked the code in it. The writing, totally made up. Doesn't match any language, alphabet, or code that we know. Linguists, nerds with computers, and even AI have tried. They all hit a wall.
Donald Trump says we have
Crazy.
secret weapons that
Which book
nobody
is that?
even understands. Trump chooses his words very carefully. You can always tell when Trump gives a little bit too much and then pulls back. Mm-hmm. He says we have weapons that no one even understands, which is an interesting way to talk about a weapon. And that it's more powerful than anything on Earth. Now, this is a president who regularly talks about nuclear weapons and their capacity. He does so in a very different tone. On the heels of that, Ashton, we have the White House chief technologist saying we can annihilate distance. We can manipulate time and space. Sure as hell sounds like teleportation technology to me, as somebody who's just reading the literal words. Here they are. But again, I haven't made a career looking into this stuff. Can you please unpack this for me?
Yeah, the Trump thing, I mean, he's telling the absolute truth when you hear him say we have stuff that nobody understands. And when he just does a shrug and says, yeah, nobody's going to do anything. I mean, that is the most confident thing that I've ever seen Trump do. That would scare me if I was one of our adversaries. He's not exaggerating at all. If anything, he got talked to after that, and they said, "Hey, dial it back a little bit. You're letting a little bit too much information out." And then when Krastios, he's the science and technology advisor to the president, he has this letter. I read it, I thought it has to be out of context somehow. It's actually even crazier in context. He says, we have stagnation was a choice. He's saying that we said, you know what? We've got to slow our technology down because we found this technology that's so powerful, we're not ready for it. And he comes out and he said, we're capable of so much more. And like you said, it leaves distance annihilated. People are out there coping, saying that he's talking about telephones and the internet. He's not talking about telephones and internet. He was talking about propulsion and transportation right before that. It really can only be one thing. And manipulating time and space is manipulating gravity. They're one and the same. This was so on the nose. The reason why everybody's reaching out to me today is that it almost feels like he's directly talking to me. When you look at this quote right here, like you said, what comes to your mind? Manipulating time and space, gravity manipulation, leaving distance annihilated, teleportation, allowing things to grow. There's this weird connection to plasma and like plants growing faster. The way he phrases it, there's not like a business growing. It's like something actually literally growing. And then productivity, AI. When I think of productivity, I think of AI. So for me, looking at this, I don't see another context that this makes any sense, which makes it so mind-blowing. I think that we are getting soft disclosure. They're warming us up to some of these ideas of advanced technology existing beyond our paradigm.
Again, you're just blowing my mind here.
What's the quarterback of Philadelphia? He pulled out his piece, right? And it went viral, and everybody was saying, "Damn, these rappers' pieces ain't hitting like this." What percentage would you say are artists like wearing real diamonds versus fake diamonds?
I would say 70%.
70% fake. Now, would you say?
Let me pause it for a while. So 70% are wearing fake jewelries, and they are giving us pressure. They are making us do a whole lot of crazy things, right? Me, not personally, but then a couple of people are almost doing the unimaginable to get these things, right? It's crazy. And the person that you are copying from, or the person that you are seeing these things from, that's the rappers. Most of them, like 70%, as said, is fake. Then what's happening in this world, bro? This is where we have to, not do things that everybody's doing. We should, create a path for ourselves. That's the same reason why I like, the rich and the wealthy. They don't want to, be flashy. They just want to wear good clothes rather than being flashy. But then, yeah, all that glitters is not gold. Let's get back to the video.
There's the rappers going there purposely getting the fake, or the jewelers are finessing them?
See, I don't know, because you see the little baby got, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
That's $4 million watch?
400,000 or 4 million. And it was fake.
So we're in the cells or whatever, in the dorm, some people in the cells, some people in the day room. And there was like some weird fucking knock on the window. And I asked my boy, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? He's like, oh, just watch. And I'm like, okay. So they bring this dude in. And like from the moment I seen him, this dude reeked of Chomo, bro. Like it was bad. Like he had those fucking wire glasses. He had like a patch of hair. He was super scrawny. Like he just looked not good. And they ended up putting him in a cell with this dude Boone. Now Boone is serving like 7 life sentences.
What?
And he's also huge and black and never talks. And he goes, he puts his stuff down in the cell. He comes out, he's sitting in the day room. That night, everybody goes into lockdown. And fucking, I forgot to tell you, the knock was to let us know that they were bringing in a Chomo. That's what I wanted to let you know. So fucking, yeah. So we're in our cells and shit. And at like 3, 4 in the morning, we hear scream. Like, I've never heard a man scream like this in my life. And like, you hear screaming for like 5 minutes. And then you hear like gurgling. And then like everything completely stops. And, you know, a couple minutes after that, all the corporals, all the sergeants, everybody comes in. Everybody get the fuck out your cells. Don't put nothing on. Come out in your boxers, blah, blah, blah. So we all come out and fucking, I looked, you know, Boone's cell was like 3 or 4 cells down from mine. And I look on the ground and I just see like a pool of blood like coming outside his door. So I'm like, God damn, what the fuck happened in there? So they're telling Boone to come out. They're like, come out your cell, Jones. Come out your cell, Jones. He comes out, and from the blood on the floor, I'm thinking he's going to walk out and be covered in blood. He comes out, all white, crispy, clean boxers on, no blood on him, nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was like, I wanted to see what the fuck happened in there. And fucking my boy's like, bro, don't do it. Because whatever's in there, it's going to fuck you up. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to do it anyway. So I went and I looked, and Boone had this guy, like, you know how bunks are. They got the metal bunk on top. They got the metal bunk on the bottom. Our bunks had holes in them. Boone tied a sheet to hang this kid with his feet up, and, like, his dick was cut off.
What?
Holy shit.
What?
And then from that, bro, from that moment, I just was like, I've been fucked up ever since.
I told you,
like,
bro.
my wife will tell you this. When we first got together, dude, I was waking up screaming. I was waking up sweating. I was waking up all types of fucked up.
What happened to him, to Boone?
Boone?
Yeah.
They just keep shipping him around prisons. They can't do anything.
And the Chomo, did he survive?
Nah, he's dead.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
It's crazy.
I just want to make a video real quick talking about why I feel like working these jobs is a humiliation ritual. You know what I'm saying? From the start to the end. Have you noticed that when you go into a job, when you first get hired, they make it seem like you're walking into an opportunity and you are going to be making money, you're going to be treated with fairness, and everything's going to be cool. The company going to make some money off your labor, but you're going to make some good wages and you'll be able to live, you know what I mean? That's how the shit starts off. That's how it starts off. But then once you get in, once you sign that paperwork and you start that first day of work, the narcissism begins. The gaslighting begins. You know what I mean? It's almost like the relationship between a pimp and a hoe. You know what I mean? The same way a pimp breaks down a young lady and turns her into a whore is the same way these corporations break us down mentally to become corporate slaves. You know what I mean? And it's all done through mental manipulation and gaslighting. It's little things along the way to where they reinforce their superiority and they make you feel like shit. They make you feel like you're tripping. Like you're not working hard enough. You should be doing more for the company. You know what I mean? They make it seem like you're the problem. And what happens is you end up burning out mentally and physically because they want you to overemphasize your potential and ignore your limitations. You know what I mean? And one of two things is going to happen, or maybe both. You're going to lose your mind or your body's going to start breaking down. Working too hard, especially if you don't have health insurance. Working too hard without health insurance is crazy. That's another thing. I'm glad I said that. It don't make no goddamn sense why so many of these jobs want you to practically work yourself to death, but they don't even have the decency to offer you some health insurance so that you can go heal your wounds after all that work you done. You know what I mean? It's just like they want you to really work yourself down to the bone, and then when it's all over, when your knees hurt and your back hurt and you got pains in your fingers and your wrist, when your mind starts slipping, when you start getting stressed out, and you fall into a depression, them motherfuckers ain't gonna be there, man.
Never.
It's all about the humiliation. They don't really give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. That's why these days, in the workplace, I try and keep to myself, and I try to put on a force field to protect my energy, to protect my peace. Because if not, all the toxicity and the narcissism in the workplace, it drains my fucking spirit, and it has me coming home feeling like I don't like how I feel when I come home if I let that energy get to me. So I really try to block it out the best way I can. But I don't know how much longer I can keep blocking this shit out, man, because it's getting bad, especially with everybody getting fired, all these companies downsizing. All the employees that's left gonna have to work super hard and do more than what they had to do before. And these companies still ain't trying to pay more. So honestly, I'm trying to get out of the workplace. I'm not trying to have no funky ass job that's trying to work me down to the bone and not give me enough wages to pay all my bills and feed my family. So I'm not quitting my job right now, but every second that I'm not at work, I'm creating something, whether it's content, working on a book, working on another project. I'm focused on trying to make money online so that I can get myself out the plantation. And if you're somebody who's burnt out, suffering mentally and physically from the workplace, then I suggest you find a way to make money online too. But that's my little rant about why I feel like these jobs are a humiliation ritual. Make sure you check out the links in the description. Until next time, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.
Bro, what the fuck, nigga? You know, bro, an egg is chicken nut. Nigga, we been eating chicken nuts, nigga. How was the first chicken ever made?
See, now we asking the right question,
now
you
niggas,
know?
okay.
See, that's a way better question.
Okay,
That's a way better question.
Okay, I'm
talking about what came first, nigga. How was chickens even made in the first place?
Cause Zeke, you gotta think about it. Did they just fucking appear, like just spawn, like in a GTA?
Because
Like,
look, I've never seen a wild chicken, like just a chicken just running around wild like a bird, like you know how crows be all over the place.
Yeah.
We ain't never seen.
And
no
they
chicken.
can't fly.
They can't fly. Like I've never been like in the forest, or like you know.
Yeah.
You don't just see chickens just you know.
You really don't though, bro. Where did the fucking chicken come from?
When you are
It's
a popular
crazy.
owner, people think they have access to your piece because they love your presence. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. And you may think, what is a popular loner? Because people hate that term when they don't understand it. It basically just means you are a person that is admired, but you choose solitude over social circles or trying to be in everybody's face. You move with quiet confidence, so you're attracting people without even trying. It's just you, it's your aura, it's your essence. So a lot of the times people will get addicted to that and feel like that means access. A lot of the times people will want access to you that they have not earned. Yeah. And they're like, well, I love you, I support you, or, you know, we want to hang around you. But they don't respect your boundaries. They look at it as it's a personal attack to them, when in reality, it just shows your level of discernment. It shows how comfortable you are with sitting with yourself. Especially because in this world, a lot of the times, people will just hang on to connections and hang on to things that don't align with them. And then wonder why they're drained or why they just feel like everything around them's fake, but they stay in it. And when you're somebody who you see through things, you see through it, you can't fake it. Your spirit just won't allow you to sit with things that don't sit right. A lot of the times people believe that because they like you, that they should have access to you. Or because you have this magnetic presence, it just comes along with being able to be invasive. Love without boundaries becomes invasive.
True.
Detrimental. I know y'all seen the Eminem story of Stan. Listen, you even see it with a lot of celebrities go through it. How many times have you seen a celebrity go somewhere and then people are like, well, I don't like how they act. I don't like how, you know, they act so standoffish or whatever the case may be. As if because you support that person, you're entitled to their personal proximity and boundaries. And a lot of the people who don't respect that, 9 times out of 10 want to overstep them. Support doesn't mean entitlement. And popular loners don't even have to be on the level of celebrities. People are mentally placing them on these hierarchies and then getting mad because they have boundaries. Getting mad because they don't have access. And the reality is support, admiration does not mean entitlement. It's not about thinking that you're better. It's about knowing that you deserve better. It's about understanding that I've already seen how that story plays out. And I'm not signing up for the sequel. Especially when you're somebody who has been kind to people, genuine, and you have people turn on you out of jealousy, out of things you can't control. Okay, because you trigger things in them that they feel they don't have. It's not about you not liking people or thinking you're better. It's about you like yourself so much that you're not going to shrink yourself
This makes sense.
to be around things that don't align. I know y'all hear the trees. When you've already been through the fake love, okay, the fake situations, the fake people, whatever the case may be, fake friends, you are going to protect your boundaries at all cost. You'll be open to being friends with people who are on the same alignment. You're not chasing those friends. You're not chasing those people. It aligns. It's a difference. Remember, people will want the gift without the investment. People will want your time and energy without the investment. People always feel entitled to things that they didn't earn. And when you shut it down, then you become the villain. But if you have to be the villain so that you are your own hero in your own piece, then so be it. I'm an oracle and a tarot reader on here. And I also make content. And I always say, I never let anybody make me feel any type of way about the fact that I don't give out services for free. Because why do you feel entitled to my energy for free? My time. I know it's valuable, and you're telling me that you think that it's not. So we're not in alignment, and I'm not for you. And when you practice exclusivity, it triggers people who only know love without boundaries.
Funny how white people call us monkeys, but white people are closer to monkeys in their DNA than we are, than Africans are. And I said, I think white people are more monkey because if you shave a monkey's hair, it's white under there. It's just the hair. It's not the skin color. If you shave a monkey, it's white. And monkeys are more white because they have thin lips, no ass, little dicks, and they take shit that ain't theirs.
In America, you can change political parties, but you can't change policies. In China, you cannot change the party, but you can change policies.
So in that time, China ceased to be communist. Is that what you're saying?
Well, China is a market economy, and it's a vibrant market economy, but it is not a capitalist country. Here's why. There's no way a group of billionaires could control the Politburo as billionaires control American policymaking. So in China, you have a vibrant market economy, but capital does not rise above political authority. Capital does not have enshrined rights. In America, capital, the interest of capital and capital itself has risen above the American nation. The political authority cannot check the power of capital. And that's why America is a capitalist country, but China is not. So in the 65 or 66 years, China is being run by one single party, yet the political changes that have taken place in China in this past 66 years have been wider and broader and greater than probably any other major country in modern memory.
Some of these kids are killers, right? Like they're
When I was in there
dangerous.
was these 6 kids. They had green jumpers on. That means $1 million bond. Every jail is different, but in MYI is $1 million bonds. That means they're not going home, and or usually, But there was these 6 kids that they were in a shooting, and they accidentally shot one of their boys right in the back of the head. So 6 people shooting at, other people, and they shot one of their best friends in the back of the head because they're 16 years old shooting guns. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have aim. They don't have experience, So they were actually in jail for killing their friend, and they all were, didn't mean to do it,
When you see
That's a
kids like
terrible
that
mistake.
and you're that age, are you thinking like my life could be like that too if I don't get it together?
So there's, like I told everybody, the last time I went back for 2 years. I went during 2020. I went during COVID. That was the hardest bid that I've done so far because of all the circumstances. But there's this experience in there with this guy. I tell the story to everybody. So at the time, it's this Trinidadian guy, and he was born and raised in Trinidad, and he came out here when he was younger, and he got in some beef in his neighborhood. I think he was from Stanford. And the guy threatened his mother and him to that they were going to kill him, and he actually killed him. He went back and got the guy before he got him. So he said, like, in his country, if you make threats like that, you actually really go through with them. So, you know, he did what he had to do, whatever. So I think he got about like 29 years, 27 years. And at the time, I was 26 or 27, and he was basically down for 25, almost 26 years. So late night, we're sitting on the bunk and we're talking, and he just looks at me. He goes, what's the furthest memory you can think of? And I'm like, probably second grade. You know, I remember this girl, we kissed on the bus, you know, like I remembered it. So I'm like, that's probably as far as I could think of. And he was like, all right, now think of, you know, you went to elementary school, middle school. Think about the times you had girlfriends, good times, bad times, times you were upset, times you hung out with your friends, you know, like different, you went on vacations. I was like, yeah, I went on mad vacations with my family. He's like, all right, think about all those times. Now you got kids now, right? Yeah, I got a kid. So I'll think about that time, relationships, you know, family pass away, friends, high school, you know. That whole time, I've been sitting on this bunk. I was like, I don't know why, but it hit me so deep.
It's about power. Because when you erase a people, you steal their birthright. You cut them off from their greatness. You convince them that their history began in chains, that their ancestors contributed nothing, that they were always on the outside looking in. And that is the ultimate colonization. Colonization of the mind. But we're breaking the spell. By remembering the Black Koreans, we're doing something revolutionary.
Koreans?
We're connecting the dots. We're proving that black brilliance was never regional. It was global. From Kemet to Korea, from Mali to Melanesia, from Kush to Cambodia, from the Congo to the courts of Confucian scholars. Black history isn't a footnote. It's the foundation. And when you see that, when you really feel it in your bones, you start walking different. You walk like someone who knows they come from kings, from mathematicians, from astronomers, engineers, warriors, architects, and diplomats. You walk like someone who knows their legacy was stolen, not because it was weak, but because it was undeniably powerful. So yes, the story of the Black Koreans matters, not just because of what was lost, but because of what it proves. That blackness was never confined to one continent. It was the light that once lit the entire world. They smiled in frames, then vanished in fog. Not myths, not legends, not symbols carved in ancient stone. People, breathing, laughing, ruling, teaching, living, and then nothing. No echo in the school books, no memory in the museums, no name on the walls of the honored. But we are not fooled by silence. We hear what they tried to erase. We hear it in the hush between turning pages, in the cracks between...
If you're in a neighborhood of white people and the cops are chasing you, they're going to help.
Yeah.
They're coming out of their house to help you. They're chasing after you to help. They're going to try to tackle you, hold you. If you're in a black neighborhood, they're like, you go that way, we're going to tell you went that way.
Right.
Or hide over here. They're going to help you. So I'm in this white neighborhood. I'm trying to get a ride. Everybody's like, oh, get away from me. And so finally, I just keep running. And I don't know where I'm at because I'm in just woods. I know the area, but I've never been in these woods running around.
Right.
Like going the way that I'm going right now. But finally, when I jump a fence into an apartment complex, it's like an all-black apartment complex. You know a guy that lives there.
And you're like, yes.
That's right. I was like, this is great. But there was a girl outside with her, young chick, with her daughter outside. The kid was riding a bike. And that I had a tank top on. My hair is like just, you know, I've been riding my motorcycle. My hair is going all crazy. I'm cut up from the woods. I'm looking like something's wrong.
Yeah.
And so I go to the girl and I'm like, hey, can I use your phone? And she said, yeah. And so she didn't get a cell phone. She went and got her home phone. She came out and gave me the phone. She's like, you want to go outside? Like, because she could tell something's wrong.
All right, I'm with you. I got you. Thank you. Yeah.
So at this point in the trade war, you might be asking yourself, why did the U.S. want to pick a fight with China in the first place? And the truth is, it's not about fair trade like Trump says. It's about survival. And it's not going to stop here. U.S. generals are even predicting outright war this year. To understand why this is all happening, you have to understand globalization, which is a process where the countries around the world become more and more connected and integrated as communication and travel become easier. Since World War II ended and the Cold War began in the 1950s, globalization has taken a very specific form. The imperial systems that the British built were never fully dismantled. They just changed hands to the US and adapted to the changing times. The idea, as J.D. Vance laid out recently, was this.
The idea of globalization was that rich countries would move further up the value chain while the poor countries made the simpler things.
The expectation has been that third world countries would always sell their natural resources and labor for cheap while the West profited off of them. Basically, neo-colonialism, the same effects as colonialism but updated for the 20th century. That's why the West created institutions like the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank, which control the development of third world countries to make sure that they're in line with Western plans. And that's why the US has staged military coups all over the world in any country that wanted to seize control of their own resources. And this expectation is rooted in the same kind of Orientalist thinking that has defined much of Western thought for the past 300 years. But surprise, things haven't worked out that way.
Turns out that the geographies that do the manufacturing get awfully good at the designing of things. As they got better at the low end of the value chain, they also started catching up on the higher end. We were squeezed from both ends.
You see, the problem with China isn't that they have an authoritarian government or that they're being aggressive towards Taiwan or even that they're communist. The issue is that China, a formerly poor country of the third world, has decided to step out of line from its designated place in the world order and challenge the United States. China has played the global capitalist game that the US has started, and they're actually winning. They lead the world in solar, EV, AI, and other advanced technologies. They're the primary trading partner for most of the world. China's digital finance systems is challenging the dominance of the US dollar. The tariffs are creating new alliances between China, South Korea, Japan, with Latin America, and even with the EU. And they're even becoming the moral leader of the world by standing with Palestine. And when we look at everything the US is doing right now, the mineral deal in Ukraine, wanting to control Greenland, the tariffs on the whole world, the demonization of immigrants, or even the renewed violence in Palestine, we have to view it all within this larger context. This isn't a trade war. This is a war for control over global finance, for who is at the top of the global world order. And the fight isn't over, but you might want to start brushing up on your Mandarin. The best thing that we can do right now is to band together, brace for this change, organize to resist, and propose real alternatives. If you want to learn how, check out the latest issue of the Conscious Citizens Dispatch, where we're discussing that and a lot more. You can sign up for free through the link in our bio, and if you've been liking my videos, it's also a great way to support our work for as little as $2 a month.
Let's talk about the Rothschild family and their surrealist ball and this photo. Now, if you don't know, the Rothschild family is literally one of the richest families in the world, like worth trillions. And I've done several videos talking about how they got their money, but basically they're this noble banking family that has been like super rich since the 16th century. They used to throw these elaborate balls each year. And some people got this picture and said that this is a picture of the family at one of the balls, and that this figure right here was allegedly the nanny. The nanny is 7 feet tall. Yeah, okay. Then some people said that is absolutely not the nanny, that might be the guest of honor. Might not even be human. But anyways, let's get into this ball, y'all. Basically, they would have it at this chateau in France. It was owned by Marie Rothschild and her husband Baron de Guy de Rothschild, something like that. They would have all kinds of elaborate parties. Like the wife loved to host. But when they went to the surrealist theme, y'all, it got real. So they made their chateau that was like, I'm talking about like Renaissance theme, one of the oldest and biggest chateaus in the area. And like, I'm talking about like so beautiful. They made it appear like it was like hell. Like it looked like the house was on fire. And as you're walking up, you will see these like big cat like men, like literally dressed up like they're human cats, laying on the steps. Then they'll just get up and greet you because they're the butlers. Yep, cat butlers, with all kinds of cobwebs and spiders hanging out for you to be scared out of your mind. Then like the plates that was like taxidermic tortoises on a bed of roses. The forks was made out of dead fish, and the tables was like covered in real life animal fur. Like, it was weird. I guess that's the whole point of the surrealist theme, because it's basically like this artistic and cultural movement that started around the 1920s, primarily in France. It's basically like different elements of art and literature and all that good stuff combined, and it's supposed to be really cool. But yeah, here's some more pictures of, you know, the things that people wore and did at this ball. Yeah, very interesting to me. Let me know what y'all think, and if y'all would ever attend a Rothschild's surrealist ball. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
65 to 70% of the women in America misinform their sons. They don't want their sons to know about hoes.
Okay.
Because they hoes.
Oh.
They don't want their son to understand how a loose woman can interfere with society because they were a loose woman in society. That's what I was trying to say here. You know what I'm saying? If you do right by your sons, later in life, your son becomes your protector, not a fool.
If you had to start over right now from scratch, do you feel like you'd be able to do it all over again?
It'll take like 3 months.
3 months? You could do it.
2, maybe 2.
Oh, now you're stressing. Now you're stressing.
Maybe 2. I'm just saying, like, whatever's going on, whatever is hot, I would focus on that at first. And then I would put my YouTube videos on TikTok with the correct hashtags and the correct sounds. And once people start knowing my face well enough, I would start streaming and reacting to Kai, Aiden, Speed, and throwing those reactions on TikTok. And then, you know, I would start like making myself a peer of theirs. And then eventually people will like start mentioning me, of course, with them.
And then you're in there.
I'm in the door then.
Wow, you just laid out the perfect blueprint.
Nah, but it's easy though. That's how I look at it.
That's crazy. But then there's a good information. I think I'm going to, you know, embrace back. I'm going to do it. Because, yeah, it's a very good, you know, advice for you to, you know, start being all over. So, yeah. And this was a very beautiful and interesting videos that we've watched today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also, click on the notification bell icon so that any content that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios, amigos. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.